Hello and welcome to Drawing with Mr. Wood. Today I'm going to show you how to draw using two-point perspective. Our learning intention is to learn the principles of two-point perspective drawing. So, much like in my video about one-point perspective, two-point perspective is a drawing method that shows how things appear to get smaller as they get further away. It's also a way of making our drawings look 3D and realistic. The only difference is you now have two vanishing points to worry about, and these drawings are trickier to master. So like I say, you have two vanishing points now, and they sit on the horizon line much like in our one-point perspective drawings. All of our vertical lines get drawn back to these vanishing points to create 3D looking objects. Now I said it's a way of creating really realistic pictures. Here are two examples that I found online. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to draw some cuboids using two-point perspective. Two-point perspective is a lot trickier, so make sure you're confident with one-point perspective before trying these more tricky shapes. So what I've got here is my horizon line, just like in one-point perspective, but now I've got the two vanishing points, and I need to take all the vertical lines that I draw back to either one of the both of these, in fact, vanishing points. So I'll start by drawing a vertical line, so a line that goes straight up and down like that. That's going to be one edge of my cuboid. I then need to take this corner, or this end, back to that vanishing point and back to that vanishing point. I need to do the same with the top. Back to that vanishing point and back to that vanishing point. Yep. Now because I've drawn this line above the horizon line, it's going to look like that this cuboid is floating in the air. And you can see, and we're standing underneath it, I suppose, and you can see the bottom of it. And same over here. Yeah. Okay. So, remember once again, these are guidelines. We're going to rub out some of them at the end. But just now we're going to use them to decide how long or how wide we want our shape to be. So I'm going to take a parallel line from here, and just for easiness sake, the edge of the ruler is parallel, so the edges. So I'm going to draw a line down this side because I've lined it up with this side. There we go. So that's how wide this cuboid is going to be. I'm going to do the same on the other side. I'm going to line up my ruler with one side and draw down the other side. And then I know for sure that those lines are parallel. Okay. Next, we need to take the bottom corners back to the vanishing points to show the floor of this, or the bottom of this cube. So, draw a line back there, and a line back there. Okay, we do not need to show the back edges, the top edges of this cuboid. We wouldn't see them from the perspective that we're looking at, so we don't need to draw them. Yeah. So our cube is that shape there. I'll eventually go over them in pen and I'll rub out the guidelines that we don't need. But what I want to also show you is one below the line, so one where we see two sides and the top of the cube this time. So again, I'm just going to draw a vertical line up and down to start off my shape. I'm going to take the ends of the lines back to the vanishing point. And same over here. The ends of the line back to the vanishing vanishing point. That's how all cuboids start. One edge, and then 4 lines that go back to the vanishing points. Right, this time I'm going to make this shape a wee bit wider. So I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to line it up with this edge, and then I'm going to move it along till I've decided how wide I want my shape to be. I'm going to go there. Okay, so this line and this line should be parallel. I'm going to do the same with the length of the shape, and I'm going to make it quite a long shape. I'm going to draw my line there. So this line and this line should be parallel. Next up, I need to take the top of my line back to the vanishing point. And I need to take the top of this line back to the vanishing point. Once again, the edges that are behind this shape, so the one that would go there and the one that would go at the top there, we won't be able to see from our perspective, so we don't need to draw those in. Right, I'm going to quickly go over the lines I want to keep with a pen to show you the finished shapes. There we go. So, 2 cuboids drawn using 2-point perspective. I'm now going to show you how you can use 2-point perspective to create a city scene. Right, I'm going to start with the edge of one of my buildings. So, right at the front here. Now I'm going to take the bottom and the top back to the vanishing point. Slightly longer. Because this is on the horizon line, we won't see the top or the bottom of this shape. It will just be the 2 front faces that we see. So, yeah, looks like a very long building at the moment. I'm going to decide how long I want it to be, maybe about there. And once again, about there. So this is the first building in my city. What I'm going to do next is draw some bigger buildings. Okay, so I'm going to draw a big tall building. It's going to start on the same line here. I'm picturing this to be the sort of pavement of the street, and this is maybe a shop or a house in this city. So the bottom of the line has already gone back to our vanishing point. On this side, it's not gone back to the vanishing point on this side though, so I need to do that. And then same up the top. It's gone back to one vanishing point, and then it goes back to the other. So, just so you're aware, that wee line there is all the way back to the vanishing point. Okay, I'm going to decide how wide I want this building to be. Maybe about there. And how wide this way? I'm going to take a line. Yeah. Now I'm going to stop here, because you wouldn't see the bottom of this building. This building is going to be in the way of it. So I'm going to stop that line there. We'll do another building at the end here. So take that edge, take it back to the vanishing point, and back to the vanishing point here. You end up with lots of lines, and it is quite hard to see which lines you want to keep and which lines you don't. I'll hopefully show you that at the end. And I'm going to choose how wide I want this building to be. Let's go for there. I'm going to do one last building down this side this time. I'm going to make it a nice tall one. So I'm going to put a line up, and then line back to that vanishing point, and line back to that vanishing point. Okay, so I've chosen this to be the width of this building. I've drawn the outer edge of that building, and now I need to show how far back it goes. I think I'm going to go with about there. Now that does look pretty tricky. What I'm going to do now is go over the lines I want to keep and show you what my 4 buildings look like with all the rest of the lines out of the way. So obviously a much more advanced skill and something you really need to work on, but I think it's important to show you where you can take it and what you can do with 2-point perspective drawings.